It's a beautiful day today. I'm sitting by the window. The lighting's different here. A little bit dark, but that's okay. I'm just connecting with nature today. My window's open here. There's a lot of clouds outside. I was sitting on the porch a few minutes ago, and I was feeling sad. Well, first of all, when I first went out to sit on the porch, there was a beautiful little fuzzy spider on the table, and I sat with it a little bit, and I communicated with it telepathically and also verbally, told it how beautiful it was and that I was coming in peace as an emissary of light. And we sat there together and appreciated each other for a bit. And then when my daughter-in-law opened the door, and it ran away, and I noticed a wasp flying around. So then, after my daughter-in-law closed the door, I was aware of the wasp. After a few minutes, it came back. I'd also been looking at the sky and the clouds, seeing the light filaments in the sky, seeing kind of a light blue aura in the sky and at the top of the house next to me. And as I was aware of the wasp, I was aware of how I have disliked wasps in the past. And I was just being reminded of the attitude that I have often had and that I have carried. I know I've carried it from my parents as well as from society, of really a hatred of animals is what it comes down to, or a dislike or a judgment. I've had complicated relationships, shall we say. When I was living in Membrace, I made an effort to get along with the animals there because there were a lot of them, and I was living among them much more than I had when I lived in town. And there were a lot of things that used to bite me. Ants, cone-nosed beetles, mosquitoes, to name a few. And I did manage to cultivate a pretty good relationship with the ants. I was able to create a kind of truce with them so that they were not coming in the house in great quantities or overrunning things. But I was not so successful with other things. And when I look back on it now, I realize that I was unaware of what was in my energy field that was attracting negative experiences with animals and insects and creatures. And I wasn't aware of that, and that was what baffled me. I didn't understand that I couldn't just all of a sudden get along with them when I hadn't before. And now, as I'm raising my frequency and understanding more about energy, I'm realizing that I have had these things in my energy field and that they create experiences in my life even when I don't want those experiences, because I haven't known what I needed to do to clean and take care of my own energy field. And that's what I'm just learning. I'm learning today because I've made an agreement, made a commitment to spend 14 days off of social media and YouTube, basically just staying away from my phone. Of course, here I am making a video on it, but I still feel like these videos are being useful for me to help me relate to and connect with my lower self. So it seems useful to make this today. But I was just feeling sad, and it brought tears to my eyes when I realized the things that I have allowed to be in my energy field, attitudes toward animals and creatures, and what I've been understanding from the galactic sources that I'm hearing from these days, is that basically we will relate to galactic beings the same way we relate to everyone and everything else in our world. So I've been looking at, how do I relate to people? How do I relate to people who are different from me? How do I relate to animals? And I'm seeing how a lot of my relating in those areas has been based on fear. And I'm thinking about how there's really only two things in the world. There's either love or fear. And we're either operating in one or the other, because we can't do both. So I've been seeing how fear has been a reason and an excuse for me to kill things. I eat meat. I've been eating a lot of meat in the last quite a few years now. I was a vegetarian for a while, for a number of years, and then I started eating meat again. And now I'm just thinking about that, like as I'm raising my vibration. What does it mean? What does it mean when I start loving and just becoming aware of my surroundings and of all the beings that are here for me to relate to? How am I going to relate to them? I'm aware now that when a fly comes buzzing into my room, that is a being that I can connect to on a personal level. Just the fly and me. And in the past, I felt just fine about killing flies. I've actually kind of gone back and forth in my life with things like that. And sometimes I stopped killing insects, and for the most part, I haven't killed spiders because I didn't feel threatened by them. I've killed ants because I felt threatened by them. Cockroaches I would usually catch and take them outside. But I see that even with them, I didn't treat them very kindly. Even though I wasn't killing them, I wasn't being as kind as I could be either. I wasn't communicating with them with the greatest of love. And it's been sort of just varying degrees of love or fear in my relationship with animals and creatures, but today I was just feeling sad that I have carried these attitudes. They're not mine. They came from others. They came from the collective field. But I want to change them now. And they're already changing because I have greater awareness. Maya Angelou says, those who know better do better. And I have a greater awareness today of animals and creatures and plants and trees and the sky and everything around me. I'm wanting to connect. I'm wanting to communicate and to hear from them. I set out to do that today. And what came across my path was an opportunity for healing. There are amends that I need to make to those that I have judged and mistreated. And I noticed the other day that a fly came in the house, and my first reaction wasn't wanting to kill it. It was, oh, hello. So something has changed in me. Something is changing. Deeper levels of fear being released that I couldn't do before. I released some. I changed some. But now there's more. There's more opportunity. There's more love and light in my field. And that means more releasing of fear. More letting go of the patterns that don't serve. And I'm grateful. And I'm sorry, and I want to apologize to the animal kingdom, to the creatures, to the insects, to the trees and the plants and the grass, for not acknowledging them, for ignoring them a lot of the time. I just see that as a human, I have put blinders on and just ignored all the life around me, everything that was teeming around me that I could connect with. I pulled the blanket over my head and I said, I'm alone. And here was all this life surrounding me, available to connect, to be my friend, to share joy and love with. And I chose not to do that. And that's okay. But now I want to change. I want to change that choice. I want to do better. And I thank them for their service, for what they are doing here on earth, for what they are doing for humanity, for the space that they have been holding for us here in the physical plane as well as the other planes of existence. There's just so much to embrace and to love and to open to. And I'm just beginning. A lot of people in my family love animals. A lot of them have cats, some of them have dogs. I've never cared for cats and dogs much. And now I feel sorry about that. And I feel a new opening in me. That I can meet them and feel more open to them. I had an experience where when I was young, I think I was 5, and the neighbor dog, I think it took my doll or something, and I was trying to get my doll back, and the dog snapped at me. And I have kept that as an image in my mind my whole life. And that has basically determined my attitude about dogs and cats, is don't hurt me. I've been afraid of them. And I come to them with this feeling of don't hurt me. And I've had that fear and I've been carrying it all this time. But I think it can change now. I think it can change now, and I feel this awareness of how much my sister loves animals. And I've discounted that. I haven't appreciated it. I've discounted her love for animals. I've discounted the animals themselves. But I want to do better. Because now I know better.